Hello, Knights fans. Back with this week's Knights Baseball Roundup with head coach Gary Puccio. Coach, coming off a thrilling series down there at Delaware State. You won all 4 games to get your overall record to 500. 3 of those were one-run games. The one game that wasn't was a 3-0 win. And let's start with that one. Junior right-hander Corey Zeller, your veteran in the pitching rotation, came through, gave you a complete game shutout. Talk about Corey's work.
Yeah, it's nice when your ace pitches like an ace, and Corey's done that for us many, many times. But, after winning the first 2 on Saturday, knowing that we had Corey going on Sunday, I felt real confident that we were going to at least win the series. And he did nothing to disappoint. He was outstanding. I mean, he was only at something like 50 pitches at the end of 6 innings. He just was mowing them down. He did a phenomenal job as always. Got a little tired at the end and made me a little nervous. It was 2 out, nobody on in the top of the 7th. And they had 7, 8, 9 coming up, and I said to myself, okay, game's over. So, of course, we hit the 7 hitter and walked the 8, 9 hitter. So all of a sudden he's got to get the 1 hitter out. And I went out to the mound and just looked at him, and he just went, this is my last bat. That's it. He had it, even though his pitch count wasn't that high. His first time going that long. And he struck the guy out. Is Corey, Corey's a winner. So that's his 10th win lifetime here, which is, not too many guys can say that they got the double-digit wins. So very happy with his performance.
Yeah, definitely. I think it was 58 pitches through the first 6, and then he had a labor of 30-something. I think it was 32 in that final inning. So he was able to close the door. Speaking of closing the door, a guy who's been with this program now for, it feels like a long time, 4 years, and now in his 5th season is Joe Flack, and now he's in a new role. He was a starter for you. Now you got him as their closer, and he came in Saturday, closed out both games Saturday, and then he closed out the series on Sunday with the second game of the doubleheader, picking up his 3rd save in 3 chances. Talk about his new role and how he's adjusted to it.
You know, last Tuesday we were playing Lafayette here, and Eric Snyder showed up, who was our all-time save leader. And Joe Flack, I saw Joe Flack go to the end of the dugout and yell over to him, I'm going to break your record for saves in a season. So, you love that in a kid because that, I don't look at that as a kid being selfish. I look at that as a kid like, well, if he accomplishes that, that's great for us because that means we're getting over 12 wins right there, So it's phenomenal. But yeah, Joe's one of the toughest pitchers we've had here. I mean, we've beaten Brian only 5 times since I've been here, which is not anything special to speak about. Joe's beaten him twice, including once in the playoffs. So he's just one of the fiercest competitors I've ever had, and that's what made him the right guy to me. We'll see, but that's what made him the right guy in my mind to be the closer. That I felt, hey, this kid's got the experience. This kid's got the guts. This kid doesn't, buckle to the pressure, and what was impressive, too, is they were all 1-run saves. It wasn't like he had a 3-run lead or something. He went out there with 1-run saves. And the third time, I didn't want to use them. After using them twice on Saturday, I hesitated. And I said, if a guy gets on, then I'm going to bring you in. And sure enough, a guy got on. And I brought him in for 2 outs that game. And I gave a base hit to put the tying run at third. And he still got out of it. But the kid's a winner. You can't teach a kid to be a winner. I mean, I believe that for all the years I'm coaching, that you can't teach a kid to be a winner. And this kid just has it. He just finds a way. I mean, he's one of those kids that's always found a way. And I hope he does break Snyder's record.
Yeah, I mean, you saw it by naming him a captain this year. Definitely that leadership and that it factor coming through. And you mentioned a couple of 1-run games. He had to dance around some trouble in those games. Obviously, those are the toughest saves to get. He got some help from his catcher, Evan McDonald, with a huge pickoff there. Talk about Evan's defense as a big play. I know we talk about him. He's a middle-of-the-order bat, but also what he's bringing behind the plate as a catcher.
Yeah, that was the second game on Saturday that they had first 2 guys got on, so they had first and second, nobody out. It's a bunt situation. They're going to bunt the runs over. They're only down 1. They get a bunt down and a base hit. We're going to lose this game. And, kid on second got a little too far off with the bunt. Kid missed the bunt, and Evan threw down and nailed him at second base, and it wasn't even close. I mean, he nailed him clean. And they did the same thing on Sunday in one of the games for Corey. So I think it was Corey's game. He's just been phenomenal behind the plate. The kid's solid as hell. He's also, hit a couple of home runs. He's got like 8 RBIs. And Evan's one of the best players on the team, hands down.
And then another guy who's been giving you some contributions. We talked about the youth of this team, a lot of freshman contributors, but a lot on the pitching staff. But one of the guys offensively is Adam Frank at third base. He had a couple of big hits this weekend at Delaware State. Talk about what you've seen from him in his first couple of games here with the Knights.
He's another guy that he started slow, and until he got his first hit, like took him 7, 8 at-bats to get his first hit. And ever since then, he's been on fire, and he's been hitting the heck out of the ball. And the kid's a solid player. You don't play at Don Bosco and be the leadoff guy unless you can play. It's one of the best programs in the country, not just the state. So getting a kid from Don Bosco is very special for us and very important. And Adams, he's a solid player, and he's going to be a major player. You're going to hear a lot about him over the next 4 years. He can play.
And now you look ahead to this week. Obviously, you got those 4 games against Delaware State. You'll get to see some different opponents this week. Scheduled to play LaSalle tomorrow. As the fields are trying to figure out here, it's a little bit of some weather issues. So hopefully you could find a field for that game. But you'll have LaSalle on Wednesday, and then you get 4 games against University of Pennsylvania, another formidable Ivy League opponent there. Just talk about what you expect from your team as you continue on this week with some new opponents.
Yeah, before I do, I just want to mention, only because that 4th game that we got behind right away 3-1. And Chris Quijano was pitching that game, and we were down 3. They had made a couple errors. I don't think he pitched badly as much as they had made a couple errors behind him. And he was down 3-1, second and third, nobody out. And he shut the door. He didn't let another run score in that inning. And I think that was vital to us being able to come back. So even the young freshman guys, freshman pitchers, Aaron Cohn, Trent, they got their first wins. I think even the young freshman pitchers are showing. Justin did a phenomenal job recruiting the freshman pitchers. I mean, they're one better than the next. Every one of them had an outstanding outing. So I'm very proud of them and very hopeful of what the future brings for this program with those guys on the mound, because they were one better than the next. They really were. As far as LaSalle, hopefully we're going to get this game in at some point. We also got 4 games with UPenn this weekend. You know, it's one of the things I said to the guys, we got to start playing. That's the key, is to play more. And over the weekend, the fact that we got 4 games in was a big help. At least we're starting to play. And you know, you see things in a game that practice you never see. You know, Jason Ortiz is a freshman. It's doing all the little things. We've turned 6 double plays already this year. We only turned 12 all last season. He's made some phenomenal plays in the field, unbelievable range. You don't see that in practice. I mean, you know, you see it to a degree, but without that intensity and the pressure of a game and everything else, it's hard to know what a kid's going to do, and especially with so many freshmen. So seeing them all go out there, and again, you know, we talked about last week that Evan Rayburn's second performance and Trent's second performance, how they got better. Aaron Cohn threw 70 pitches his first time out. This week he pitched 3.1 innings, got the win. So I see so many good signs with the young kids that I really believe. And, you know, this week's going to be a test. LaSalle, UPenn, we're playing some quality teams. I mean, even Del State was picked to win the MEAC, to win the North Division. So, you know, it's not like we blew these teams out. You know, we were competitive, tough wins. And I almost feel like you get more out of that because your kids have to perform under pressure. So yeah, we got a big week ahead, and hopefully it'll help get us ready for the conference.
Yeah, definitely. It's always big to get the reps early for these young players, and it seems like they're already starting to see the fruits of the labor coming through. Well, good luck this week, Coach.
Thank you. Appreciate all the time and the outstanding weather we're having. Hopefully we get a warm day to play in.
Oh, that would be nice. I know we got spoiled there. We had a couple warm days, but now we're out here in the brisk cold and the 40-degree temperatures. So hopefully the weather will cooperate so the Knights can get some more games in this week. Scheduled to play one against LaSalle on Wednesday here won't be at the Namoli Family Baseball Complex, but we are looking for a field here in New Jersey. So keep an eye out at FDUKnights.com for all updates regarding that game, as well as the University of Pennsylvania games, which all 4 games will be home games for the Knights. Hopefully, again, once the field situation gets squared away, all that information will be on our website. So definitely check back at FDUKnights.com for all things about the FDU baseball team.